What's up, guys? Got the 2025 TX 300. Just picked it up. Got about almost 8 hours on it now. Changed out the original plastics. Put the rear disc guard on there. Bulletproof designs. Put the AXP skid plate with the linkage. The Tusk handguard. And then I just put these Molecule Motorsports handguards on here. Coming off a KDX 200 2003. This thing is like light years away. Just got into racing hare scrambles here in the Northeast. Single track, some hard enduro sometimes. Yeah, stock tires. Everything else is pretty much stock. But just wanted to give you guys a little walk around, because I know I did a lot of research before I bought this bike. I actually ended up, I first bought a TE 300, which was an incredible bike. Super easy to ride, and yeah, nothing wrong with it at all, but I really wanted the TX, you know. I should have just got it in the first place, but traded the TE in for this, and yeah, thing's an animal. Just getting used to it. Yeah, so just gonna ride around here and some trails near the house and show you guys what it's like. Been keeping it in the white mode, and it's insanely fast, so I'm just trying to get used to it, and I haven't even adjusted any of the suspension stuff yet, but you know, it's a learning process and trial and error, so let's go. Slippery out here with the leaves and these tires and the regular tubes. I don't know, they just seem to be slipping all over the place, but still. I did the whole first year of my Netra Hare Scramble series on a 2003 KDX, which was tough. I mean, getting back into riding after 15 years, but I'm glad I did it on the KDX, because now this thing is like a mountain bike. Last bike I had before the KDX was early 2000s YZ250F, so you know, I'm used to the older bikes, carbureted bikes. Had a YZ80 before that, and you know, this thing feels like a carb bike. You don't have to mess with the jets though. Fuel injected TBI. Loving it. The other reason I went with the TX over the TE is this thing's about 10 to 12 pounds lighter, and you know, it might not sound like a lot, but for a guy that's 145, 150 pounds, it makes a difference for me. Yeah, it has more power than the TE, but that's not really what I was looking for. You know, I have a headlight bike, so figured I'd keep the KDX, you know, redo it over the years and keep it. Maybe turn that more into an enduro bike, but but I wanted something more geared towards hare scrambles, GNCC type riding, and this thing rips like a moto bike, but you can still lug it second, third. You know, you see a lot of guys doing the flywheel weight. You know, I also didn't mind the pre-mix because I was used to mixing oil for the KDX. I just kind of preferred it, so I'm happy. Just trying to get used to it and, you know, learn how to ride this thing compared to a 23-year-old bike. Learning every day, just getting more seat time, and yeah. I gotta say, getting back into riding dirt has been probably one of the best decisions I've made in a long time. You know, I rode Harleys for 5-10 years, whatever, but this is way more engaging, way more physical, mentally. You gotta be on it, you gotta be in shape, and it's just, you know, it's therapy in a sense for me. I know a lot of other people too. You know, I love being outside, I love being out in the woods. I mean, there's literally nothing better. I mean, this is third gear, pretty much right up second. It just, I mean, this thing is insane. You know, a lot of people said it would be too much power, and yeah, maybe it's a little bit harder to ride in like the super, you know, slow or steep stuff, but you know, I'm not always doing that, and you could always make these things work for that. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, did a lot of research, as I always do for about everything, but I'm happy that I went with this thing. Give a shout out to Chump, Moto Chump on YouTube. He's got a good video on his 25 TX Heritage. You know, and he's doing hair scrambles too, but I couldn't recommend if you're getting a new bike and you like 2-strokes, I couldn't recommend the new Austrian 300 2-stroke enough. CBI motors are incredible. You got a lot of options. The TEs, you got the 250 XC, 300 XC, TE 300. It's on for everybody, but from what I read, this is like the do-it-all bike. You know, you're doing all sorts of different stuff, which I like doing all sorts of different stuff, you know. These hand guards feel nice too, better than the stock ones. The stock ones would just fold up and crush your knuckles. mean, there's so much you could do with these bikes. And like another guy said on YouTube, why not get the cross-country version, which the motor is almost, you know, it's not neutered like the TE, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying the TE is a bad bike, but you can get an XC or a TX, upgrade the stator, put a flywheel weight on it if you want, and then you got the TSP, ERM you could do to all these bikes. I mean, these things are insane. So, a couple more laps there. I mean, it just lugs so good. I will say, obviously, the TE when I had it lugged better. It didn't rev as quick, but you know, I'm liking it. It's like, it's kind of sort of like a moto bike, but built for the woods. Do a couple more things to it, and it'll be just like a TE if you want. Or get the TE. You know, the other thing is I didn't really want the oil injection. Like I said, I don't mind mixing up the gas. Right now I'm running Sunoco 95, or Sunoco Optima, which is 95 octane but non-ethanol. Figured I'd start fresh with, you know, some good gas. We got 7.7 hours on it. Different stuff and just trying to get better, you know. It's kind of why I like this. It's a progression for everything. You're watching this and you're trying to decide between the cross country or the enduro models, the best thing you can do, if you can, is ride one of each. I know I wasn't really able to do that. I was able, you know, could have rode one of them, but I know it's hard, but if you can, it would help you. But this thing is, like I said, I wasn't looking for the extra power. I just wanted a more racing style bike that's lighter. You know, I probably could have gotten away with a 250. The only other option for that would have been the KTM 250 XC, which, you know, I always thought that the KTMs were taller, but that might just be the TDS bikes. I should have probably sat on a KTM 250, but this thing is, I'm loving it. The only thing that sucks about the TBI bikes is the fuel mileage, but, you know, there's a lot of companies that are coming out with stuff to fix that, and I know a lot of guys put a bigger tank on, so it's really not an issue. I would take that any day over having to mess with the carb. I never liked messing with the carburetors and jets and all that. I just was never good at it, never figure it out. This thing rips like a carb bike while having the convenience of fuel injection. Looking forward to the 2026 season. Should be a good one. You know, nothing wrong with the KDX, and I'm super happy that I did it first year on that, because, you know, compared to everybody else, it's like everybody else is on the newer bikes. They're way easier to ride. KDX is 23 years old suspension, even though I didn't have it. I had shocks put in for my weight and stuff, which helped a ton, and I did a bunch of work to it, and it was sick. That thing's a tank. It's like a couch, but I'm pumped for modern suspension and all the other stuff that this thing has. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.